it actually, because the antenna is not very high, and it's not the greatest thing I've ever made, Tim. W3HHN, M0BKL in the group.
M0BKL, W3HHN. Roger, Roger, Steve. A lot of QL Mary and a lot of noise on frequency, so I miss a little bit now and then, but you said you've got an inverted B dipole not too high. So, well, we just have the single vertical. I've been experimenting with verticals for about 6 months and finally got a design going now for the 4-square, but it is not yet in use. The controller will be here by the end of the week from Comtech and the quarter wave phasing line, so another 2 or 3 weeks I should be on with the 4-square. Still broad daylight here, probably another half an hour or more broad daylight. Temperature today about 8 degrees centigrade. Back over to you, Penn, and nice to talk to you. G0 Victor Queen Yankee in the group, W3 Hotel November, over.
Yeah, W3 Hotel November from G0BKL. I put the video on. I'm filming this. I'm going to put it on YouTube tomorrow, so you can see. You went to 5.9 plus 10 just a minute ago. 5.9 plus 10. So that's a really strong signal there, Tim. And that's a really impressive setup you've got, because I was actually considering a vertical myself not long ago, and everyone was saying, oh, you need hundreds, like dozens and dozens of radials, but you just said you're using 8 radials. Is it a homebrew vertical, or is it like one off the shelf? Over.
Yeah, it's homebrew, and I stuck it in a tree. I've got a sort of a smallish tree, probably about 30 feet tall, 10 meters tall, and I went up a couple of meters in the tree and tied a piece of rope around it. I got a couple of wires.
See, I told you.
About the 7-foot point, mark, I run 8 above ground radials. They're not on the ground, but I did experiment many times here with the ones on the ground, and I am went back and forth. I'm convinced 8 radials are enough, but I'm going to 16. I'm going to 16 on the 4-square, but you should do nicely with 8 radials. I know people put 60, 120 radials, blah blah blah, but if you read the literature, if you run 8 radials, you're about 60% efficient. Even if you were 50% efficient, you would only be down a couple of dB, 3 dB at most, and the vertical outperforms the horizontal on DX at least 10 to 20 dB there, 10 to 20 dB stronger than the horizontal. And I don't have to feed in. I could throw over a dipole and show you the difference. You'd be totally amazed that this antenna is 10 to 20 dB stronger than the horizontal. G0BKL, W3HHN.
Yeah, QSL there, Tim. Just remind me, how high above the ground is the vertical, the base of the vertical, over?
2 meters.
Oh, wow, that's not very high, is it? Because they do say that if it's elevated, then you don't need as many radials, do you, over?
Yeah, I have to get under it with the riding machine. I have a riding tractor, and I'm about on a hectare of land here. The YL lives across the street, and I live in my radio room. I have towers, I have wires all over the place. I have a similar one for 80 meters. Similar one for 80. The radios for that are 15 feet above ground, and it's a full quarter wave, and it's 8 above ground radios. I don't know why I chose 8. I do know why I chose it, because of the PL SO 259, the connector. Each hole I could put 2 radios in very nicely. It has 4 holes at the chassis coax connector. So very easy to put 2 radios in each hole. 2 times 4 is 8. That's why I chose 8. I'm sure 6 would have worked, 4 would have worked. Apparently you can do very nicely with 4 above ground radios there, Penn. Go ahead.
Well, you're proving it. That's the proof is in the eating. And all this talk that I've been reading about radials and having like 20 radials, obviously you've blown that out of the water, because I've never had such a good signal from the vertical. Anyway, take it over to Steve. I'm going to have to go QRT myself in a minute. And I'm going to leave the video running for a little bit. And I'll put it on YouTube. And assuming that I can get an email from you from QRZ, I'll send you a link. So take it back over to Steve there, Tim. Go ahead.
Yeah, not a problem. I'm good on QRZ. That's above ground. 4 above ground. I just read something on QRZ, which is bogus. But it said 4 above ground is worth 120 on ground. I do not believe that. But 4 above ground is certainly worth 30. 4 above ground is certainly worth 20 or 30 on the ground. Okay, over to you there, Steve, for the final. We're going to look around a little bit. Somebody's breaking in. I don't know who they want to talk to. Pick it up for the final there. 180 watts, doing a grand job over here with your inverted V dipole. M0BKL, Kentucky, London, W3 Hotel November, over.
Yeah, QSL, Tim, very good. No, it's working really, really well. I've been trying to get Penn to work with a vertical for 40 metres, and I've got to tell him I told him so. I knew it would work very well, but you're certainly doing a fine job, especially to be able to hear me, because you know, we're really running a simple setup, Tim. Well, look, I'll let you go and run. I'll put it back to Penn, because I'm sure you want to say his finals, but I wish you best 7-3s, and thanks for coming in. And it's certainly your antenna's doing a fantastic job this side. So 7-3s from me, Tim. I'll hand the microphone back to you, and I'm sure Penn will come back and say 73s as well. Whiskey 3 Hotel November, M0BKL signing. Cheers, Tim. Thanks for coming in.
Roger. Yeah, I think we've got a ZL coming in on long pass as well, right under you, which I probably will not copy. 73, good evening. So long to you there, Penn. W3HHN, clear. Bye-bye.
Yeah, cheers, Tim. And if you're around in the evenings at all and you hear me and Steve or me talking, then please do drop in. It'll be interesting to see if this, hopefully this isn't just a one-off. We'll see if we can replicate it again. W3HHN from G0BQI. Cheers, Tim. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Wow, that's a good one, wasn't it, Steve? I'm blown away by that. I really am.
No, I knew it. Honestly, I've heard it before. I've read about them. I've heard them. I knew a quarter-wave vertical, you do not need masses of radius.